My dad is a man-child who likes Diary of a Wimpy Kid so much, he forces me to read it with him whenever a new book comes out. After what I had just experienced, I don't know if I ever want to read another Diary of a Wimpy Kid book ever again. I was walking down the street one day when I saw a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book I had never seen before. It was black and it read, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Game Over. It had a picture with Greg in tears holding a gun to his head with a noose in the background on it. It listed Jeff Kinney as the author as usual, so I just assumed it was a new release with a darker turn to it. I picked it up and took it to my dad's house. He was not home, so I went up to my room. I couldn't tell at the moment, but something about the book didn't seem quite right, so I opened it up and read it by myself. It was a typical Wimpy Kid style drawings and text allegedly written by Jeff Kinney, but something was very different from those other books in the series. Greg swore heavily in this one, as opposed to the profanity-free earlier books. I don't remember every single word in the book, but I can give a synopsis. It was mainly Greg talking about how much he hates his life, and how only bad things happen to him, and his desire to commit suicide. He starts taking drugs and drinking alcohol. As this goes on, the text and drawings get cruder and more low quality, as Greg is under the influence of drugs while writing and drawing in his diary. On the final day of his diary, in practically illegible writing and crude, disordered drawings, Greg finds a gun that belongs to his brother Roderick. He calls up Rowley and tells him to come over, telling him he has a surprise for him. Rowley arrives at Greg's house excitedly. A drugged-up and crazed Greg takes Rowley up to his room and blindfolds him. Greg puts the gun in Rowley's mouth and shoots. Rowley dies immediately. Greg, in tears, points the gun to his own head and apparently kills himself. Real blood is visible over the last page Greg had used, and not to mention the next two. Greg had only used a third of the book, which had as many pages as the other books in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The other 2/3 of the book were blank diary pages. I felt disturbed and queasy, like I could throw up. In fact, I did briefly. I never believed the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series would end in Greg committing a murder-suicide with Rowley. I threw the book out the window in my dad's room into the street in front of cars, and where it hopefully got ran over and destroyed, but I can't be sure. After it scarred me for life, I didn't want someone else to find it and have the same reaction I did. No decent person should have to read that horrible, scarring book.